Hey, everybody. Welcome aboard. My name is Alex, and I'm the host of Aletheia. This YouTube channel was designed and created to help all of us to have a healthy discussion about truth, our values, facts, and fiction in this world that we're living in. And I'm excited to help all of us to grow in our understanding of the truth and to come to a positive place of interaction where we can exchange ideas, thoughts, and perhaps even help one another to get back on the road toward understanding absolute truth. Because at this channel, we believe that there is an absolute truth, and all of us have a purpose in our life to discover that truth and to join with that truth in creating a better world for all of us to live in. And so I wanted to know if you could like this video as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel, click that notification bell, let me know how I did in the comments below, and let's get into it. So, my initial video that I made, I mentioned a simple little phrase that the Lord had kind of put on my heart that kind of crystallized my thoughts for that video. And my wife actually was interested in it, and she wanted me to go further into that phrase because it was a little bit confusing for her. And so I decided to make another video that kind of goes into that phrase. And it's a very simple phrase or idea that just blew my mind, really. It just really encapsulated everything that I was wanting to explain and the reason why I started this YouTube channel. I don't want to always be right. What I want is to not be wrong. And, what does that even mean? What are you talking about? Well, too often people believe in something simply because they want to believe it. They're so used to believing it. They're so used to operating out of that truth philosophy. And they don't really want to be told or led away from it because it would break something emotionally within them. These are what we call embedded beliefs. Embedded beliefs are ideas and philosophies that are taught to us from a young age from a trusted source who perhaps has never been vetted or we've never vetted them themselves. It's something that we believe from when we were younger or our prior, experiences that we simply can't explain why we believe them. We just feel and know that they're true. And so if somebody were to challenge those beliefs, we would get very upset emotionally and we say, "No, I'm right. You're wrong. I know I'm right." But if we were to be pressed on how do we know that we're right, then we maybe like wonder, well, yeah, how do I know that was right? Well, my teacher told me that when I was in fourth grade, or my pastor preached that when I was a kid. Well, yeah, those may be good sources and they actually may be true what you were taught, but you haven't actually vetted those ideas and philosophies for yourself. It's like so many people believe that the Bible tells us that cleanliness is next to godliness. But if you told somebody that actual statement is not in the Bible, that's not a scripture, there'd be a lot of people out there that'd be very upset and say, "No, no, it is in the Bible. I know it's in the Bible." Perhaps a preacher or a teacher told them that a while ago, or they just assume that because it's such a culturally repeated phrase, a statement that we just tend to assume, oh, that's in the Bible. It feels true. And so we want to accept it as a scriptural fact. But in fact, it is not in the Bible. We've all grown up having our life perspectives shaped by our family, church, and education. Sometimes we just believe something simply because it seems like everyone else believes it too, and therefore it must be true. And so, uh, if somebody comes at us from a different perspective, it creates this sort of cognitive dissonance that is very uncomfortable for us. So we tend to hold to our deeply held beliefs very close to our hearts. And this can have the negative effect of steering us away from absolute truth, the journey, that path that we should be on, that we're trying to stay on, that we're actively trying to seek so that we can find fulfillment in our lives, purpose and meaning for why we are here. What is the purpose of our life? And what are the most important things that we need to be focusing on as human beings? I've experienced this effect myself when my deeply held embedded beliefs have been challenged. And my reaction is usually very intense and defensive. No, that's not true. I know that's not true. I know what's true, what I believe is the truth. But this is not a response based on careful research and impartial examination of the facts. It's simply a response that comes from something deep inside of me that is embedded in there. And it really, to be honest, it's an emotion. It comes from my emotions. I want what I believe to be true because it fits into the construct or the structure of my worldview. And I don't like to have my worldview construct to be challenged or shaken by anything that might contradict it. And we all know how our emotions can steer us away from the truth, not toward the truth. Our emotions, they're good. Emotions are good. I'm not here to bash on emotions. Emotions are part of what make us who we are, make us free-willed beings that God created us to be. They allow us to be able to interpret things in this world in a way that is unique from, say, a robot. So if God wanted to create people to just do what he wants them to do and simply obey him all the time, then we would simply be robots, and there would be no need for us to experience emotions because they would just kind of get in the way and just cause all kinds of problems. But we were created in such a unique way that God wanted us to experience life in a way that gives us full breadth of life and the full life experience, and allow us to navigate through the experiences that we have in a unique and rewarding way. And so sometimes there are negative emotions and sometimes there are positive emotions, and we have to be willing to sift through our emotions so that they don't get in the way of obfuscating where we are headed as far as our truth journey is concerned. If we are truly being honest and seeking truth, then we must have the attitude that what I want is to not be wrong. And so this goes back to the statement that encapsulates all this. I don't want to always be right, because when I'm right, I'm blocking truth from breaking into my worldview. And I'm blocking what will most likely be a good thing for me from breaking through. Maybe what's breaking through is something that's false and something that isn't true, but I wouldn't know that unless I allowed it to come in and then I carefully considered it based on impartial facts and research. It takes courage and patience to do this. It takes courage and patience to say, I don't want to be wrong. I want to make sure that what I believe is the truth and is right. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being in a position of not being sure of what is the truth. We're all on that journey, and that's a wonderful thing to do. That's a wonderful journey to be on. It's why God created us. Proverbs 25:2 says it's the glory of God to conceal a matter, and it's the glory of a king to search out a matter. We are created to be kings. We are created to search out God and his infinite wisdom and his truth. The world has been broken by sin. The world has been broken by false doctrines and an enemy that wants to take people out and condemn us to a hell, or hell on earth, or even a hell beyond this world, where we are separate from God because we have turned away from the purpose that God created us. And so we need to make sure that we are staying true to the purpose that God gave to us. This world offers so many things to distract us from this journey of truth: entertainment, power, money, all kinds of things that appeal to our flesh, appeal to our carnal nature, and draw us away from that journey of truth. And so many people who have followed over all those things, they're powerful, they're popular, they have all kinds of money, will tell you so many times over and over again in interviews that they give, there's the emptiness in that. Everything that they searched for, it looked great on the outside, but when they went behind it, it was just like a Hollywood movie set. The town looks really authentic, like an old West town, But when you go behind the facade, that's just plywood and there's nothing there. It's the desert. And so we need to make sure that we are following and focusing on a truth journey that will bring us to a place of fulfillment, a sense of meaning and purpose in our life that will bless us and allow us to be those kings and queens that God has called us to be. I have found that when I devote some time and energy regularly into sincerely seeking the full truth about a matter, I am rewarded with intellectual, emotional, and spiritual growth. You can't help but be rewarded for that sincere growth and research. I have been so amazed by how I have grown in my understanding of theology, philosophy, world events, and history simply because the Lord has allowed me to be able to access so much content on YouTube and on the internet. You don't have to go to college anymore to have access to all this information. God has allowed us to be able to access these things freely. And so we have no excuse to be ignorant about anything. We can look things up and we can make sure that our sources are vetted as well, that we use proper sources, that we're not just taking, stuff off of somebody's blog on the internet and claiming that that's true. We have to make sure that we're getting our sources from reputable places. But all in all, we can learn and grow and share a lot of ideas and concepts that we can mull over and try to figure out whether or not we believe them, that they're true or not. And it's a wonderful way to live our lives. Sometimes discovering one truth leads to discovery of other truths that we're not expecting. Researching one truth and validating that truth can also lead us toward continuing on a journey toward that ultimate truth that we're on, and it becomes a blessing for us. It becomes a wonderful experience, an adventure. Really, it's a wonderful adventure. This is the glory that we receive when we humble ourselves and fulfill the purpose for which God created us. And so I don't want to always be right. I just want to know that I'm not wrong. It really is basically, I want to humble myself and be submissive to the ultimate truth, to the facts that are objective and not just subjective ideas and truths that I have been holding on to since I was a kid, and I just want them to be true. But by all means, go ahead, dig in your heels, and demand that you are right or the facts are wrong. But unless you can convince me that I'm wrong, you're wasting your breath. And calling me names doesn't count. It really is that simple. Just be real. Just be real with yourself, be real with the facts, and be real with the person who is challenging your facts, challenging your truth, challenging that structure that you've built up in your mind and your heart. And when we do that, we can have a worthwhile conversation, not just be bashing each other, not having monologues, not having debates and things like that, that really just get us nowhere. It doesn't help us to grow. It simply just becomes clickbait after a while. And we don't want to have that, because really life needs to be serious. We need to be taking life seriously. We need to be sincere in our search for absolute truth. So if you appreciate this video and you appreciate what I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, let others know about this video, send it out, share it among your friends, families, enemies, whoever you want to share it to. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comment section below. God bless you all. Have a great day.